What's up guys, it's Mr. Make It Happen and I'm in the cozy kitchen today and we're making braised short ribs. Alright, so today we're doing braised short ribs. We have some beautiful short ribs that we just got locally here. We're gonna season them up, get them seared, and then put them in the braising liquid. We're gonna pair that with some mashed potatoes and some asparagus. For the braising liquid, we need a mirepoix, which is basically celery, onions, carrots. So using 2 heads of garlic. And for our herbs, we have rosemary and thyme. All right, so here we have our short ribs. I'm just gonna hit them with some kosher salt. Make sure you hit all sides. This is 3.5 pounds of short ribs, so make sure you season it like it is. And really, you can do this the night before if you wanna really enhance the flavor. You can hit these with the salt, do like a dry brine, put them in the refrigerator. But if you don't have that much time on your hands, 30 minutes, maybe an hour is perfect. That'll get the job done. All right guys, so this step here is very important. You don't want to skip it. We're going to sear the short ribs. It's going to add color, flavor, and texture to your short ribs. We're going to get it in a nice hot cast iron skillet. Then we're going to use the flavor that's in that skillet to make our braising liquid, get that in the oven. I like to use avocado oil because it has the highest smoke point, which is perfect for searing things like short ribs, steaks, all that good stuff. All right, so once the skillet is nice and hot like it is right now, we're going to place the short ribs in. We're gonna press down and make sure it makes maximum surface area contact with that skillet. That's gonna help develop that crust. And again, crust is flavor, and it makes the food look good, and you eat with your eyes first. So, all right, so we got a nice color developing on the short ribs. Show the other side the same love and attention. That's what you wanna see right there. All right, so once your short ribs are seared to perfection, nice golden brown and beautiful on all sides, we're gonna remove them from the skillet, finish searing the rest of our short ribs, and in that same cast iron skillet, we're gonna add the rest of our ingredients. At this point, we're gonna turn our heat down, that way we don't scorch our vegetables. I'm gonna add a little bit more oil. But here we have our mirepoix, which again is celery, carrots, and onions. Just wanna get that in there, get some color developing, get some flavor released from the veggies into the skillet. All right, so once we have the veggies in there with a head start, we're gonna add a couple things to enhance the flavor. I have this Better Than Bouillon beef base, but this is gonna add tons of flavor to the dish. And it's kind of like a little bit of a cheat code because it's very concentrated beef flavor. And then I'm gonna go in with 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. All right, so as we said earlier, we're gonna add a lot more flavor to the party. I'm going down with some all-purpose seasoning. If you don't have this, guys, you can use salt, pepper, garlic, onion powder, things like that. Let all the other ingredients kind of do the talking, but you wanna make sure it's well seasoned. This is a low sodium seasoning, so you can kind of go a little bit heavier, you know, when you start to season everything. Just make sure you keep an eye on that. And then for my favorite part, we're gonna add some red wine, about a cup of whatever red wine. Doesn't have to be an expensive bottle, something 10, 15 bucks is perfectly fine. So we're gonna add about a cup of red wine, bring that up to a simmer. And then we're gonna go in with our beef broth. About 2 cups of that. We're gonna let that simmer away, season it to taste. Once that tastes good, we're gonna add it to our short ribs, and then we're gonna put that in the oven, and the short ribs are gonna cook in all of this flavor, absorb all the flavor, get nice and tender and break down. We're gonna have a great meal on your hands. All right, so the next step to the process is braising. So we have our short ribs and our pan. You can use a foil pan, whatever you have at home. We're gonna transfer our braising liquid with the veggies and all the herbs into this pan along with 2 heads of garlic. Wrap it in foil and pop it in the oven at 350 for about 2.5 hours. So get all of that braising liquid in there. You don't wanna boil them, so don't submerge your short ribs completely. Maybe about halfway. Give them a little elbow room. Perfect right there. All right, so right now we got everything we need in there to make sure these short ribs are delicious. I'm gonna wrap them in a little foil, pop them in the oven. And then just let time do its thing. We're gonna go ahead and get our mashed potatoes started. So I got some Yukon Gold here. We're not gonna peel the skin because it's nice and tender. It's gonna add some texture to the mashed potatoes. But if you wanna peel it, you can. A lot of good nutrients in the potato skin as well for my health police out there. We're actually gonna boil them in chicken broth today, or chicken stock, whatever you have. Gonna amplify the flavor even more. All right guys, the key to a good mashed potato is to not add cold ingredients to hot potatoes. So today we're gonna warm up basically like a cream sauce. We've got heavy cream, we've got half and half, sour cream. My favorite key ingredient or secret ingredient, Boursin garlic and herb cheese, is gonna take the flavor to the next level. A little Parmesan, gotta have some butter. And for our fresh herbs, we have some thyme to infuse a little bit of that flavor into the potatoes as well. All right guys, so we got half a stick of butter in there over medium-low heat. We're gonna add about 2 or 3 tablespoons of sour cream. Sour cream is great with potatoes. Again, my secret ingredient, which is that boursin garlic and herb cheese, about 5 ounces of that. And then we'll add our heavy cream in half and half. All right, so to kick the flavor up even more, we're going in with some fresh herbs. Today we're using some fresh thyme. We'll fish those stems out right before we make our mashed potatoes. I'm also going to cheat a little bit and use a little chicken bouillon powder. That's going to add some incredible flavor to the mashed potatoes. And then, of course, we got to have some garlic. So we got the garlic from the garlic and herb boursin cheese. And then, of course, we need a little bit more. So we'll go with about a tablespoon of garlic paste. Give that a mix, let that come up to a simmer. Taste it, taste for seasoning, and adjust as needed. And that'll be what we pour over our tender potatoes to make our mashed potatoes. So once the thyme has done its job, it's infused that flavor into that cream sauce, we're gonna go ahead and remove the thyme sprigs. Nobody wants to bite into that in their potatoes. And then next we're gonna start to work in a little bit of Parmesan cheese, about a half cup or so. You don't want it to be a cheese sauce, but that Parmesan is gonna add some nice flavor. All right, so once your potatoes are fork tender, which means when you pierce a fork through it, it comes in and out nice and smooth with no resistance. We're gonna take our handheld potato masher, and like I said earlier, I'm leaving the skin on for texture, a lot of nutrients in the potato skin, and the Yukon Gold potatoes in particular have a very thin skin, very tender. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start to add in that cream sauce. Add a little bit at a time. Once it's in there, you can't take it out, but you can always add more later. We're gonna mix that together. So like I said, we're just gonna fold in that cream sauce a little bit at a time, continuing to mash as we go. All right, so once we have our potatoes right where we want them, I'm gonna drop in about 3 more tablespoons of butter, hit it with a little bit of my all-purpose seasoning, and we have a nice chunky, garlicky, buttery, creamy mashed potato to pair with those beautiful short ribs that are about to come out of the oven. All right, so we're doing a pan sauce or a reduction for our short ribs. We drained off the sauce or strained it to keep all of the rosemary and vegetables and whatnot. That's what we have in here, and this is what's called a slurry, which is basically a combination of cornstarch and water. This is gonna thicken up the sauce, bring that up to a boil, and watch your sauce thicken up nicely. Season it to taste, and then we're gonna ladle that right over top of the short rib and the mashed potatoes. It's gonna taste like the holidays. All right, so we got a veggie. We're using asparagus today. We're gonna do a technique called blanching, which is basically like pre-cooking or par cooking this asparagus. So we're gonna blanch it in some boiling water with a little salt. 2 minutes or so, put it in an ice bath, and we'll saute it, season it up. All right, so once the asparagus is blanched, we hit it with the ice bath to shock it. It makes a nice, vibrant, bright green color. Now we're gonna add it to a little butter and avocado oil. Butter makes everything taste a little bit better. And then we're gonna hit it with some all-purpose seasoning or just some salt and pepper. Keep it real simple on the asparagus, guys. It's a lot of flavor in the rest of the dish, so no need to go crazy. And then we're gonna finish it off with a little lemon juice. And that's gonna go beautifully with the mashed potatoes and the short rib. Can't forget the gravy, baby. We're going down with that pan sauce that we made. Don't be shy with it. All right, so we have braised short ribs with a garlic mash, some asparagus, and the best damn gravy you ever had in your life.
If you're wondering why I got bitch-ass little serving, it's because I was bad in Maui. I've been eating bad. I've been eating all kind of crazy shit, but I gotta taste it, man. It is what it is, you know. Health is wealth, but you still gotta stay turkey, baby. Mr. Make It Happen in the building. We've been giving all kind of snacks. This right here is about to go crazy. Yes, sir.